All right, so let's get on the Jeep. So what we have to do is loosen that bolt up so we can get a gap between the top of the bushing and the bottom of the body right there. And then I still need to remove this fender so that I can get the damn thing on. So if it isn't one thing, it's something else. Okay. So I guess I need to figure out what size this bolt is here underneath. Get that sorted out real quick, and then we'll go get the rock slider and see about lining things up and seeing where everything goes. Okay, so I ended up doing 3 of these body mounts on the passenger side. This one, the one we actually need in the middle, and that one. So I've loosened these all up. I'm going to put a jack under here once I get this fender flare loosened up so I can get it out of the way, and then I'll be able to slide the side panel in. So next thing I got to do is loosen all those screws back up. Yeah, the wind's picking up and the weather's going to be changing pretty quick. So get that done, and then we'll get the jack under here. So I got 4 of them out without a problem. I have that one loose, that one's going to stay. Then I have these 2. These 2, both of them, the head stripped out on the Allen side. So what I'm going to do is cut a groove in there so I can stick a screwdriver in there to hold it. Then I can get it out. But I've noticed that a lot of these Allen heads, especially that stuff that came with the bumper guards and the fender flares, they were made in China, and they are cheap. I would probably replace the hardware with something else. They're good for maybe 1 or 2 takeoffs, but I've had these things on and off a few times, and they just, after a couple times, they just strip out. So we're gonna get them off so we can get that fender in there, or that rock slider in there. And then probably that's gonna be it for today, because I'm pretty worn out from dicking with the garage. So get this off, get the frame slider in, get that bolt tightened up so it stays in place, get this rebolted, and then I'll call it a day, and then I'll finish drilling the holes later. Okay, so what I ended up doing, since I couldn't get those damn things out of there, I ended up taking my cutting wheel and cutting what was left of the heads off. Let's see, I got one right here. There it is. So I just cut the head off and then drove it out with a punch. Luckily, it did come with some extra of those bolts and nuts, so shouldn't have too much of a problem. But yeah, here's what was left of the head of the one. Not much. That's what I had to grind down to get it knocked out. So that's that. I'm gonna go, now that I got that out of the way, I'm gonna go find my jack real quick and a block, or a couple of blocks I think, so that I can push up on the body, and hopefully I have enough room on this side to slide that in. And then I'll I'll move all my tools out of the way, and I'll go get that slider, and we'll see how that goes. Alright, there's my jack contraption. Just using a 20-ton jack, and as you can see, we've got quite a bit of space now, and we're not actually lifting anything, so I'm not worried about this shifting or falling. But it did need to move that one. The rear one not so much, but definitely the front one. So we're going to go ahead and leave it like that while I go inside and grab the thing. I believe that's enough room. It's only supposed to be like a 1/16 of an inch or something. So let me go grab the slider, and I'll be right back. Okay, so again, I'm working by myself, and I have a bad rotator cuff in my left shoulder. So I was able to get that up there and in place. Looks like it's fairly where it wants to be. This sort of lines up. I don't know if I can get it up any higher. But it slid back in there pretty good. So I just have a couple of C-clamps pinching it up here to the body. I'm going to probably tap on it in a couple places with a hammer just to make sure that it's nice and squared up there. But then I can go ahead and put the fender flare back over because it covers about that much. So would not have gone in any other way. I left myself just enough room for that to slide so it doesn't interfere with anything. But I think it's on there, so I may go ahead and drill out the 2 screws, or maybe even the one in the middle, or I might just drill them all out just to get it done with, because it go pretty quick. And yeah, okay, so I'm gonna go ahead and tighten this up. Once I get that tightened up, I'll take the weight off the jack, and that way I can go ahead and tighten the outer 2. Yeah, this one's moved now too, so it did move a little bit. All right, let's go ahead and tighten that up a bit, and then we will make sure everything's set, and then we'll go ahead and drill. Okay, so I got the drill out and couldn't find the punch. I don't know where I just lost the brand new punch to. It's not with the drill bits. Actually, it might be in the drill bit box. I didn't look there. I think that's where I put it. But I got the holes drilled out. Now I'm going to put the hardware in. Now, the nice thing about the Smittybilt kit, it comes with the proper Allen tool, where the Chinese knockoff parts didn't come with the tool. So we're going to go ahead and get these bolted in. Then I'll get my fender back on, and then we'll kind of paint everything to match, and we'll call that a day. And then yeah, okay, on to the bolts. All right, so I got all the bolts except for that one right there in. I'm gonna go ahead and put this rear fender back on. I went ahead and sprayed a little green here where this is going to be under the fender. Not that I needed to, but it just looks a little better. So I did scratch my fender here. I scratched it right there, but that's okay, because, you know, touch-up paint's miracle stuff. So we'll get this back in. You can see where I had cut that bolt off, and it's still stuck in the fender, so I got to finish getting that out. Then I need to put the hardware back. So I'm gonna go ahead and do that real quick. Then I'll go ahead and put this last bolt in, and then I'll spray this whole side. Okay, so that went on pretty easy, and as you can see, I got a coat of green on it already, except for this one right here, which for whatever reason, see it right there, that's as far on as it will go, and it just suddenly seized up and won't move at all. I tried backing it off, and it is stuck. I mean, it's not tight or anything, at least not in the hole, but the nut is stuck on the bolt. So first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to try and heat it up and melt the Nylar and see if that helps me get it back out, and then I'll swap it for another bolt. Or if that doesn't work, I will come in from the bottom with the cutting wheel and cut the nut off, because nothing's ever easy. All right, but other than that, it looks pretty good. The inside still has got some black. I'm gonna have to figure out how to get it a better angle, but it is what it is. But it's coming along. The passenger side is pretty much done other than this bolt. So I'm gonna try that, and then depending on however that comes out, today is gonna be the end of this video, but I'll be back in a minute. All right, I scratched it up a little bit. I had to use my cutting wheel, cut the head off. So I did it from this side because it was just easier. So, but that's all right. We'll throw some paint on it and clean it back up. But yeah, I don't know why it only went on so far and then just stuck. And right now it's flaming hot because I tried cooking out the Nylar. Yeah, don't know. Only went in a few threads and then locked up, couldn't back it off. So, and this is the Smittybilt hardware. So, who knows? All right, let me dig through this bag here real quick, get out another one, and then I will be good to go. All right, so new screws put in, some paint's been thrown on it, so it doesn't look too bad. I am going to remove the antenna because I took the radio out, so I don't need it. I'm going to remove those lights. I'm going to get rid of the mirrors. I'm going to move the mirrors to the style that bolts. I think it bolts to this bracket here, or it bolts to this one. I can't remember. But if I like to run during the summer months without doors, so that will mean no mirrors. So I'll need to get that sorted, or I'll get the type of mirrors that go in the post itself. But this one is ugly. The other one's ugly. But everything else looks pretty decent. Screws are all in. Everything's nice and tight. So it's kind of weird the way that sits, but that is... So that's a Smittybilt part, and these are Chinese knockoffs of Smittybilt parts, I believe. So, but yeah, not too bad. I did spray the hood down. Let me close it and I'll show you. So the hood had some stripes from where it faded out. So I just went over it real quickly the other day when I had a bit of time, kind of just sprayed it. You can see the lines where I sprayed it. I'm gonna have to redo it. The hood's definitely gonna need a couple coats. This is where the mirror just rubbed it from me having the hood open. But when I do the window, I'll take everything off. I'm not worried about the glass because the glass is crap, so I'm gonna be replacing that. I am gonna unbolt this light bar and I don't know, try to fix it, I guess. But yeah, so the windshield wiper blades and all that stuff will come off. Take all this off, I'll paint it, and then I'll lay the hood down and do the gasket. But yeah, it's coming along. Once I get the other side of the body armor on, I'll go ahead and put the oil pan back together, get it all done, get the front sprayed, get the new radiator and everything in, and then we'll get the emissions done on this, and then I'll tear it back apart so I can do the transmission, because the clutch needs to be done and I have all the parts. So all right, well, thanks for watching. That's it for today. I should have left that punch laying on the ground. That'll rust fast. Set it down here so it's not on the ground. All right, have a good day.